Hey, Jamie here, currently in Paris, and I want to talk about pricing and a lesson that I learned the hard way through the first 2 or 3 years of my entrepreneurship and the previous companies I owned and I held. And it's an interesting topic because pricing is obviously important, because as a company or as an entrepreneur or even as a small business owner, pricing is what fuels everything. Sales drive everything that you need in order to grow your company or expand into a new project or anything like that. So pricing is a very important topic. However, I think when beginning and trying to find a good price point, trying to figure out which price point converts the highest, which price point feels right, and of course which price point provides you with enough profit to go and get the next client or the next customer. And this is something that took me a little while to learn. I'm not sure why, I just felt like I had to go through it, I guess, at the present time. And what I used to do when I first begun, the first 24 to 36 months of me working with clients and owning the first agency, was I used to set a price point and I used to work to that price point, right? So for example, if a client came to us and they said, we have a budget of $10,000 for you to work with and to create an animation project, I say, great, no worries. And what I'll do is I'll usually work my energy and my skill set and hire a team and pretty much work up until that 10K price point, rather than working up to, let's say, a 4K or even a 6K price point and allowing the value of the work to speak rather than my energy and effort into it. Okay, so just because you're charging a high price point doesn't mean that you have to slave like a hound over it. It just means that the product has to have the value in there for the client or the customer. And it took me so long to learn. I recall doing these massive projects, and I will charge a lot, so that's good. That is great. However, I'll also work up to the price point. So for example, if a project was, say, 10 grand, then I might work, 200-300 hours on that project with me and my team, as opposed to, maybe charging 14 grand or 15 grand, letting the results of the project speak for themselves. So that took me a little while to learn. So when you do price up your next project, or you price up your next product or anything like that, just ensure that you are pricing to the value of the product or the project rather than your own energy, and rather than relying on your work to justify the product price point. And speaking of the value as well, you want to ensure that the value given to the customer or the client is around a result, right? Now, obviously, the higher the result or the more pain it removes from the client or the customer, the more you can charge for your product or your project, right? But again, you want to price it on how much closer you move the client or the customer towards their dream outcome, or how much pain you remove from their current issues or whatever is happening in their life or in their own company, rather than pricing on how much work can I put into this, how long will it take, and can I work up until that price point, right? You obviously want to allow room for profit, but you don't just want to work yourself like a hound, and you don't want to work the full project capital with your own time, energy, and attention. So that took me a long time to learn, as weird as that sounds. I'm not sure why, but it just happened one day, I think 2009 or 10. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna overprice this project because I don't want to spend so much energy onto it, right? So what I ended up doing still is I delivered a fantastic project, but then I didn't work the full project capital on my own time and energy. So little pricing insight that took me a long time to learn, that I wish I learned it sooner, because I would be in a very different place right now. Anyway, that's it from me in Paris. I hope you guys found this helpful, and just remember not to price for your time, remember you don't have to work up until the project budget or price point in order to justify that price point. You can justify the price point by explaining the value to the client, by providing a fantastic outcome, rather than sweating your blood, sweat and tears through the project and exhausting everything just to make that price point.